Hi Taurus, welcome to your September reading. And welcome to the Mercury retrograde. That's okay. Nothing's touching you. Actually, let's start this off right. Taurus, this is the month where finally, in about 2 or 3 days, but it's already started, you feel the hexes falling off. And other people can see them falling off. What do I mean by that? I mean, anyone out there that's been doggedly pursuing you with their negative energy, someone you know, like peeps all your shit, just watches everything you do, someone who may have at times even, caused you harm, right? Like you know that they have done things to harm you. Okay? Like it's serious. Like this people who have been very much a thorn in your side for whatever reason. People who wish you ill. People who have talked bad about you. People who have done you wrong. Perhaps harmed you in some way. Destroyed your property, whatever. All their influence, it just disappears. Their impetus to want to do these things to you, it disappears. That time of your life when you had to feel persecuted by the opinions of others, their judgments, their stares, it's over. And it's not coming back. That time, that phase of your life has passed. Of course, when something is over, usually the person who is the culprit or the reason that it's over is the last to know. So, fortunately or unfortunately, depending on who you are in this equation, the people who have been spending so much of their time persecuting you will be the last to know that you have indeed won, elevated, and moved on to a level of financial stability that they can't even dream of. Mashallah, things are going very well for you, but none of that is as important as this slew of negative energies being wiped clean off of you. It's in your astrology, very strong. And here in the cards, you see with that Four of Wands opening that there is a stability, there is a positivity that comes with that groundedness that you really like. So Four of Wands is fire, but it's grounded fire. Very fixed, right? 4 posts can make something that you can put a tent on, something that you can build a foundation on, right? So the Four of Wands implies a stability that you need, that you want, and it comes after you rid yourself of all these little bites at your energy. Someone just like nipping at your heels all the time, always agitating you, always throwing you off. Because you and I both know that when you can sustain a vibe for any prolonged amount of time, you can affect the things around you and you can make opportunities for yourself and you can make magic. But I think the people who aggravate you know that as well, and perhaps they know it even better than you do. Because they tend to wait until you pick up momentum, because that's when a bull is the most dangerous, the strongest, and then they'll interject. And it doesn't even have to make sense what they're saying. It doesn't have to even be true. It doesn't have to be fair. It doesn't have to be rational. It's just meant, and that's why often it's not, because it's not meant to be any of those things. It's just meant to throw you off your speed, to throw you off your cadence, to throw you out of your momentum. And we have here this Knight of Wands and this card of momentum right next to Libra. Mercury's in Libra, and it's retrograde now, as of 2 days ago. So not only are you relieved of all these people through this retrograde motion who would keep you from picking up the pace, who would keep you from sustaining a certain pace, right? Not only are you made aware of them because of the Mercury retrograde, but the Mercury retrograde is opposing Jupiter retrograde in Aries. So you're able to make decisions about these things and move forward. You know what just cannot, you know what cannot work. You know what doesn't work. You know what can no longer work. You know who triggers you into not being able to work. And all of that is culminating into a knowledge about yourself and a knowledge about what comes next for you, whether that level up is your own business, a new job, a new education, a new relationship. It doesn't matter. Abundance is abundance is abundance, right? So there are only a few things you can do here that could really dampen this progress. One of them, at least it's in your astrology, is that no matter what, just don't go back to your ex. Or whatever toxic situationship there might be lurking there, that's always just a phone call away. They don't ever really call, but you know they're always there. They're always, somehow making themselves known. The selfies bring them out of the woodwork. You know what I'm talking about. That toxic person. The person that you don't even want to be with. The person who somehow reveals a lot about you. Because you'll deal with them, but you don't actually deal with them. Taurus, you all have this person. Do not spend time with that person during this time. This is not time for them. They're just going to steal this energy. And this is your winning moment. This is not for you to funnel into somebody else. And, trust me, you're going to want to, because that nurturing thing you have, it doesn't matter if it's not a child. You'll nurture anybody. You just want things to grow. So if some guy comes along who can't handle his shit and is like, help me grow, you're like, oh my God, I thought you'd never ask. Or some woman or someone, regardless of gender, who is like, I need help with growth. Well, those are your trigger words, You're like, oh, must be love. True love it is. Let's go. Let me show you the path. Now, we are in a full moon transit right now. The moon has come up in almost every reading. And here, the moon is really talking about this, revealing this part of you that does have this tendency to have a person on the side, even if you're not actually doing something with them, or a person that you think of fondly that you would definitely do something with if you could get away with it. There's a lot of sexuality to you guys. So if you are between the 23rd and the October 2nd thinking of dalliances, or if you're single, going back to a toxic situation, especially if that person is a Pisces, a Cancer, or a Scorpio. So these water signs who seem to have a bit of a monopoly on the retrogrades and pulling people back into their watery world, please don't do it. Instead, maybe look at what it is that's making you want that toxicity back in your life. That's a much more interesting and productive conversation, because we both know there's not going to be a lot of conversation with this toxic ex. Okay. The other thing here, I don't know if you can see by this first row, but your mind is changing. It's all abundance, 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 abundance. So there's different forms. There's a lot going on in your head. There's lots of moving parts to what you want to do next. And you're going to have to take on a new identity. I don't think you can work within the identity you have right now with all the different opportunities that are coming in for you. It's too much of a stretch. I think at first it was like, okay, I can stretch myself out and kind of fit this role. Now you're realizing, no, in fact, I think I need to rebuild my persona. I think I need something bigger, stronger, sleeker, chicer. You feel it within yourself, and so it's not pressured because it's not something from the outside. It's authentic. You want to do it. You realize this. You're looking in the mirror and going, yeah, I'm ready for a level up that means this, 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 and this. And it's very specific to each one of you, but as we know, Tauruses have impeccable taste. So what you're doing basically is you're refining. And this period of refinement happens to coincide with a period of financial and career level ups for you. So it's a really gorgeous level up. It's a gorgeous refinement where everything gets turned into the classiest version of itself, the simplest version of itself, the most neutral version of itself. You know how it is. But one of the good things about that is that it's non-committal. You're not marrying yourself to a certain trend, a certain color, whatever it is. Stay as fluid as you can right now, because this is not a month where anything that you decide sticks. It's a month where you wake up 30 days from now and think, oh my God, why did I do that? Why did I get that? Why did I do this? Why did I change that? So if you can resist the urge to take it out on yourself when these retrogrades get on top of you and you just want to move, you just want everything off your back, because that's how it can feel. Making really important, permanent decisions about things is not the way to relieve the pressure. May seem like it. People may try to make you feel like it, like, oh, if you just make this decision and do this and this, you'd feel a lot better, and then no. Don't buckle under the pressure, but also don't let it make you do things that are not in your best interest. Okay? Now, one of the interesting things down here is that you have the ability to solve some problems that were really sticky before. And they may have actually attributed to you getting your heart broken, or someone getting their heart broken by you. Cool thing is, you know how to deal with those problems now. Those things that seemed so difficult, so insurmountable, now they're nothing. Now you're like, oh yeah, if that was happening now, I could totally handle that. I could totally deal with that. It took so much from us then, but now it would be nothing. If that's the case, the chances are very strong that you and this person could have another go at it. But again, this is very different from whomever is your toxic ex or situationship. That's a different story. Okay, don't conflate this with that. All right? Okay, moving forward. There is a lot of charm on the table. You have this Piscean charm, you have this Libra charm, you have this Cancerian sexiness, obviously the Scorpio depth and sexiness. This entire reading speaks of someone who is just dripping with charm, can get what they want, looks gorgeous, their voice sounds amazing, their skin is amazing, they look great, they're dressed so classy. Everything is kind of opening up for them. It seems that the world is falling at their feet. And yes, Taurus, it is. Mashallah, it definitely is. This is very useful. Okay, this is very useful. You can get what you want. You can get anything you want. Be careful with that. Be useful. Speaking of useful, this retrograde is also, and this full moon starting tonight, you're going to start to get some real interesting insights into why this previous relationship didn't work, and therefore giving you a very clear picture of how it could totally work and be fine now. So, not to get your hopes up about anything, but I think that that's a big part of healing as well. Realizing that you're not the same person anymore, because it gets you out of this like emotional rut. Do you know what I mean? Where if you've been heartbroken, you can kind of stay the same. It's like you don't move on from that moment. You don't really evolve because the shock of it, the stress of it, the pain of it locked you there. But then also you stay there because it's out of some sick sense of loyalty. Like if you don't stay there, maybe they'll never come back. Even if you know they're not going to come back, still there is this like desire to stay there and yeah, light the fire. I don't know. So a lot is going to get unpacked with this retrograde, yeah? Part of it being, now I see why it didn't work. Extremely useful information moving forward for yourself, for anybody, for work, anything. Now, it's stressful when it comes to how long it takes to get paid and how slow money is moving. It's extremely stressful, even with people you know, and you're like, but I know you, why are you being like this? It's not that. It's the whole world. It's everyone. You need to let this financial situation breathe, and you need to go on faith right now and put it to the side. And that's what I mean by take this leap of faith here. The Fool moment being put it to the side, emotionally let it go, and leave it to the divine and see what happens. Because I think there has to be a moment now where you admit to yourself that there's only so much you can do, And after that, it's really not on you anymore. Okay? If there is someone in your past that you used to work with that you feel is regretful that you guys don't work together anymore, they probably want you back. So if you want to just shoot them a friendly text or an email, they're going to jump at it, inshallah. So if you're looking for work, that's a good place to start. Now, let's talk about money. Let's talk about these two cards here. Don't buy anything else. From when you hear this video, right now, just promise yourself that for the next 2 weeks, you won't buy a single thing that you don't actually really, really, really need. In 2 weeks, tell me how much money you have and how you feel about it. Might be a lot, might be a little. The point is, if you do this for a couple of weeks, you'll be ready for the fact that money gets so slow in September and so tangled up in October. Yeah, you need a cushion. Even if it's just a mental cushion of, yeah, I didn't spend anything for a couple of weeks and I could totally do it. And I know there's some extra cash in the bank and I feel less stressed out about what's going on, even though the people around me are starting to really freak out. Okay? Another way to look at this about not buying anything is about not wanting any more weight to carry. The next time you go to buy something for the next 2 weeks, ask yourself if that's something that you want to carry around forever. Because in a sense, everything we own does own us and we do carry it around forever. And I think that you're in a period of shedding. I don't think you want to put new things around you that you have to carry around forever. Okay. Now, in the extended, we'll talk more about this thing with being careless with your money, about having a plan for your money, right? We'll talk more about the slowness of the money and how annoying it is. And the problems with these old relationships, the problems with saving money, the problems with impulse shopping, and how all of this is so deeply related to one's sense of self, one's worth, one's perceived worth, right? All of this. So we'll go a little bit more existential. We'll definitely shuffle out the cards and talk more in depth. You know, like I feel like with you guys, we need to start like a motivation group. You know, that's what the extendeds will become. The different signs, the extendeds will become different things. But for you, I feel like you need this kind of motivation. Like, where do I get my energy? If someone were to ask you that, I don't know if you'd know, but I think for you, it's definitely from other people and from nature. So other people and nature, great combo. Okay? All right, let's talk about those things in the extended, as well as, you know, that whole charm thing that we were talking about, using it for your advantage and where it's, you know, appropriate to use it. All right, we're just going to keep the video going. I love you, love you. I'll see you in the extended. All right, so first, let's talk about